Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I wanted to create a top, and I did, but we started with a very simple top that looks like this. Then I wasn't satisfied with this and I started adding elastics and going a bit crazy and ended up with a top like this, which you already also can wear like a skirt. Not sure if it's a good idea, but I kind of love it. So this video is probably long and all over the place, but if you want to create this first version of a top, it will be very easy and you will be done halfway through. If you want to create this top, it will take some time, but once you understand the technique, again, so easy. If I weren't filming, I would be able to do this probably under an hour, but the video is all over the place because that's not the top I was planning to do. So please bear with me. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will make a top, very easy, like low effort, easiest top ever that I haven't made before, but I think it will be very easy to make, and let's try it out. So before we start, I want to yap a bit and explain why I'm making it and just a bit of my background. If you're not interested, just it's my laundry, the sounds of my laundry. So if you're not interested, just scroll forward when we're actually gonna start making a top. But just a few things. If you're a beginner and you don't know anything about sewing, this video is for you. If you're very good with sewing, if you're like a seamstress, don't watch that because you will probably cringe, because I have no, like, I have a bit of experience of sewing, but very easy projects. I'm not a professional. I don't tell you how to do things, right? The only thing I can say is that during Corona, I started my own sexy sustainable clothing brand. I was so naive to think that I can pull it off, but in order to make clothing, you basically need to bring some clothes to the pattern maker and seamstress to show what you want. Of course, you can ask someone to sew it for you from your head, from your idea, from your board, but I didn't have that money, so I started learning how to sew. I don't know, is it sew or is it sew? I started to learn how to make clothes just so I can make some basics and then bring that to a pattern maker and tell her that, okay, you do this, then this is from that, this is like I want to be changed, and add a zipper because I have no idea how to add a zipper and things like that. Things that my mom was sewing clothes all her life, and my grandma, my mom's mom, she used to work in atelier also almost like all her life, so I had someone to ask for, right? My clothing appeared in Vogue. It was worn by Stasi Karinkalau, Emrata, so many celebrities. Not so many, but a lot for my small brand, considering that I did everything myself. I was like one girl business. Not last summer, but the summer before that, so 2023, I closed my brand because I was laid off from my full-time job and I couldn't just fund my business anymore, so I closed it. That's it, right? Now, few things about how I make clothes and few things about me. Extremely impatient. I hate to be taught. I'm Capricorn, if you know what that means, because I don't, but I've been told that that's how Capricorn behave. I'm very stubborn. I hate to be mansplaining or anything explaining. Like, I just feel like I hate to be told what to do, which is a big flaw of mine. I work on that, etc, etc, but that's why I don't watch tutorials. If you've seen my how to cut my hair, oh, by the way, I cut my hair yesterday. I didn't watch tutorial in the beginning. I just started following the vibe. So same with the clothing. I see clothes, and I also like puzzles. I also like solve puzzles. So when I see clothes, it's so interesting for me to find myself a way to make this clothes without watching tutorials, without just figure it out for myself. And during Corona, when I was working on my brand, that's how I used to make clothes, and that's how I came up with some of my, I don't know, best designs, is because while trying to do one thing, I figured out another thing, and I wanted to do one top, but I ended up making another top that is like so much better. And it's very interesting because I look at the clothes differently, different from my mom or granny who actually knows how to make clothes. I will end up making the same clothes but different way, which is a bit stupid because it is kind of like reinventing the wheel. Like, why you're trying to make a top and today we will make a very easy top that has already been done many times before. Just watch an easy tutorial, but I like it. Like, it's a little mystery, it's a little, let's try to make it just from our head, just having a picture without pattern, without anything. Also, it means that if you're just starting, you also don't need patterns, you know, you just can vibe with me. And if I will continue making those videos, that's how this video would look. It's not necessarily like tutorial, like step by step. It's more like a trying to understand how the clothes is made just by looking at the Pinterest pictures, trying to figure out how to make it easier. And my favorite thing is how to avoid zippers. Even though I made a few zippers already, but they're still very intimidating to me, and I like to make clothes adjustable and comfortable. That's why my Sexy Sustainable brand was about making clothes sexy but comfortable, if that makes sense. So I'm all about switching the button and zipper to different ties, so you can tie it around. And you know, I love just ties, and I love making the clothes adjustable because the body in the morning is not the same body as you have in the evening, so I like to like retie it during the day, if that makes sense. So let's start. Like, I still have a bit of a fever, but where's my iPad? So I had my clothing brand for 2 years, and during that time I accumulated a lot of different sewing, I don't know, stuff. I have 3 sewing machines, I have 2, like I have all of these boxes are filled, and the boxes there with different like yarn, threads, needles and all of that stuff. But that's another point. That's another reason why I wanted to make this video. If you're starting, I will discuss which things I regret buying, which things you don't need to invest, which things you maybe want to buy if you know you will continue sewing. So we will talk about this one as well. By the way, since I closed the brand, again, summer 2023, I haven't touched my sewing machines. I became so upset, like, you know, I failed, the brand didn't work out. That's why for a year, I couldn't look at the clothes. Only this year I started wearing the clothes I used to make, and the clothes that the atelier used to make for my brand. And I feel like now it's my first project in a year and a half, so we're starting it very slowly. It's very easy top to make, nothing extra, and we will be using the simple sewing machine, not the serger for stretch material. We will go to that maybe later. I want to start it very easy, kind of ease myself into that, because I feel still like for the past weeks I noticed that I'm passionate again about the making clothing. I have the biggest board in Pinterest saved of the things I want to do, but still, even today, thinking that I will again sit on my sewing machine, I still feel a bit of like, you know, all of these memories and all of these goals I had for my brand, it didn't work out, so it is sad, but yeah. So this one, it's, wait, maybe I should just attach the picture. Yeah, it will be a simple kind of no strap, or maybe strap, we will see how we feel, top that is made out of the cotton, so you don't need stretchy material, you don't need sewing machine for stretchy material, and we will just add a elastic here to make it ruche, and that's it. First we cut the fabric. How did I think that? Then we fold the fabric in the middle, and we add the seam here, leaving some space on top, because this top then we will fold over. So wait, that will be the second step to sew. Third step, to fold the top fabric this way. First, let's measure how much elastic do we need. We stretch it out a bit, because if you keep it loose, that's not the point of elastic. I a bit pull it out so I can feel some, you know, tension, resistance, so I can feel that it will stay here. Yes, it looks a bit weird, but also leave few centimeters, because we need to put one on top of another to create a seam. And then I just have a feeling, there's actually a rule that you measure how much, how big is this length, which then you take 10% off, I think, and that should be the length of your elastic. At least I saw that YouTube video, I don't know. I like to do it this way. I feel like, you know, you don't want those tops to be too tight, I think. But then you also need to hold on. We can add straps later if you want, but I was thinking to try if it's gonna be good like that. Yeah, I think like this. Okay. So the point is that when you create tube tops, skirts, it's actually very helpful to know for the future. You don't add a seam here, kind of having these tails like that, because it will create a bubble on the fabric, it will be uncomfortable for your skin, etc, etc. You always never like that, so you don't, wait, how to show you? So you don't just add seam. You don't just add seam here and have these tails being like that. Instead, you put one on top of each other. And then you add a seam here, kind of one folded on top of each other. See? Much better this way than that way. As I said, if you know anything about sewing, this probably sounded to you like something stupid, but bear with me. Let's start cutting and actually start doing something. I'm such a big yapster. I feel both feverish and like my tummy hurts. I'm so tired. I blame the non-existence of sun in Finland during this season. We will use just cotton fabric that I have. I have much better fabrics, but I said I just want to start. Probably it also might not work out, might work out, but before I used to immediately use my best fabric and then I will ruin it, and I don't want to waste anything. So we will start with this fabric, but also I wanted to have those like beige cotton tops. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually beige fabric. And it's from the thrift store. Most of my fabric is from the thrift store. Now, what we're gonna use for cutting? You can, of course, just use scissors. Now we're talking about those equipment that I told you before. Do you have to buy or not? I have for cutting 3 things, which is this mat. It has a proper name that I absolutely forgot about it, but basically you can cut on top of it and you're not ruining it. It is quite expensive. I think this one was 50 or 80 euros. That's why in the beginning when I just started brand, I saw it, but I was like, no, I don't need it. This is so expensive. It is just doesn't make sense. So if you know you're only gonna make a few projects, don't buy it. If you know you've already been sewing for a while or you're very passionate about it, this one does make sense buying, and a few things you need to buy with it. Also, if you will be thinking about how big it should be, mine is 57 centimeters to 87 centimeters. I don't think you should buy smaller, because the smaller are more for handicrafts, people who work with like you know, little handicrafts. For a clothing, it's better the bigger it is. I usually actually cut on the floor. I don't think the table was a good idea. Another thing you need to buy is a ruler. It's also kind of like you can't cut it basically, but it was 50 euros. I think it was 50 or 40 euros. I remember watching and I was like, no way I'm gonna spend so much money on a ruler. It's a life changer, because I will show you how to work. And then this Fiskars, I think it's called circle knife, because all of these 3 things works together. I will show you now how. Actually, I used it so much. I'm on my 2nd or 3rd wheel. You should change it quite a bit, but long story short, before I had all of this, I thought that I might want to buy it, but this was so expensive, and I remember spending another hour, like half of the day, trying to make a perfect square out of the silky fabric, and I was going crazy. And my boyfriend was like, that's it, you need to buy this, I will buy them for you, because we can't, like, you can't keep stressing so much. And it is so much easier to cut with this It is just insane, but it is quite expensive. So if you think that you will only do 2 projects, don't buy it. I said that it should be like twice your width, but would that be enough with that fabric? No. Of course I can measure, but this is so much more fun. So I think it maybe even let's do it a bit bigger, like so. So that's the width I'm taking. With the cotton fabric, it's easy. You don't need even this to cut. You just now the length. So that is the width. How long do I want it to be? We also need to save for folding over. I think we can do this way. So I'm choosing the length somewhere below the pockets. Of course, I understand I will need to save a few centimeters on the bottom and top to fold over. I think that's gonna be okay. The best way to know is to take the top that you already like and measure, but as I said, we're just going with the flow. Do I have to iron this? Of course. Will I? No way. Who has time for this? I actually even prepared the iron, but I'm so lazy, which I will regret later. But of course, since I was just pulling the fabric away, this is uneven. I now folded it over evenly. So what's the point of this mat and all of that is that this has squares here. So for a perfect clean cut, you just make sure that all of the lines align with each other. That's why I folded it. See, if I had the smaller mat, it will be even more difficult. Make sure everything aligns. Then I just put it like so. I aligned the square on my transparent rulers with the squares and line on my cutting board. Then, can you see? And then I just ta-da! We can align everything. Of course, if you have thick fabric and you folded it so many times, it will be quite hard to. It's already a bit hard, as you can hear. By the way, where you can buy those things, either in Sinali in Helsinki, the store is called Sinali, that's where I bought those, but also check online store, Estonian online store, it's called Karnalux, I will add, and there you have everything on that website. It is Estonian, so it's much cheaper than Finnish stuff. Delivery is quite okay. I used to order all my yarn from there. They have needles, they have sewing machine I bought there, like they have absolutely everything, and it's much cheaper, especially if you buy like few things at once. This is now 56 centimeters. Could have done longer, and the width of it is 80 multiplied by 2, 160 centimeters. Now, what do? We take our width and we will sew it together, but let's see how many centimeters we keep away. Use my pink one for the markings. This is our elastic. The elastic is 1.5 centimeters width. So I'm thinking, okay, if I will fold over, wait, I need to put you closer. So I will need, as you can see, this is the length of my elastic, which is, in case you're wondering, let's see, it's 75 centimeters, and the width of the fabric is 160, so we will have quite a bit of the ruche once we pull this from here. So how much do we keep from the top? We need enough to cover our elastic, like so. This is inside of our top, okay? So you want to leave quite a good of space, not just sew into the end of the fabric. So I think let's do like that, for example. How much will it be? Okay, 7 centimeters. So we take 7 centimeters from the top. That's where we're gonna fold it, like so. You can even already. So this is the top of our top, this is the bottom of our top, this is the back of our top, and we will sew now, leaving, how much I said, 7 centimeters from the top. So starting from here, and another quick important point, let's, I think if I will do it, I will explain later why I'm doing this, but if I will keep it this way, I want this thing to be somewhere here. Yeah, let's step away 2 centimeters. So we don't start from the top of the top, we skip 7 centimeters, and from the, can we align everything? And from the side we will leave 2 centimeters, and we will add the seam all the way. Definitely not this one. Definitely not. I think this one. This sewing machine, by the way, I found in the Punanalisti. It was like new, it had all of the manuals and everything, and I think it was like 80 euros. But now you can find sewing machines in even Lidl, Prisma, especially Singer ones. They're so cheap right now. As I said, we skip 7 centimeters from the top. We marked it here. And then we want to have 2 centimeters out. Is that 2 centimeters really? You have a marking here of the 2 centimeters going away from the needle, but why I have this post note here is that I like to put it, because you have markings only here, I like to put it all the way down. This way it's easier to guide the fabric. I would recommend you, once you guide, not to look here, but to look here. Because once you guide it from here, it will be the right part. Ta-da! So we added a seam that will be in the back. We kept the 7 centimeters from the top, and we added the seam by skipping 7 centimeters and skipping 2 centimeters from the side. So 2 centimeters from here, 7 centimeters from top, and we added the seam starting here all the way down. Now, what we do is we fold this fabric like so. Finally found the use for this marble template I bought for €1 from Kiretos Kieskos years ago. I don't know what was the point and what I was thinking, but let's see. Okay. Now we fold it over until that point of where our seam starts, like so. Same on the other side. So we take it away, we put it down to the 7 centimeter mark, and we add needle. So by sewing here, we will create a tunnel for our elastic. This elastic that I measured on top of my breast, that is high, that has quite a tension and can keep your top in place. Remember also that depends on your fabric. If your fabric is especially heavy, it should be maybe even the wider elastic and have a more overlap. And then we will put the elastic inside, so you should have enough space here. Should I add zigzag now or later? Good question. I know that we put aside 7 centimeters, but somehow it turns into 4, which is 4 and 4 ended up 8 centimeters, but okay, whatever. That happens. I just double check where I should put seam, because afterwards we will need to pull our elastic all through the way. So I think if elastic is 1.5 centimeters, the seam should be exactly 2 centimeters away from the left. Makes sense? Because elastic is 1.5 centimeters. If I step away 2 centimeters, there would be extra 8 millimeters to make it easier to pull through. So now we will need to do that. The best way to do it is, of course, now to iron it by stepping away these 3.5 centimeters or 4 centimeters. But who has time for that? No one. I don't. So if here it's, I don't know, well, it's kind of 4 centimeters, then all along the way it should be 4 centimeters. So let's do it all the way. First we create a tunnel and then we pull elastic through, which will take some time considering how long is this tunnel. So basically that's our top. This is the back of the top. And the reason why I wanted to fold these parts here pretty, because we will need to put the elastic through that, and you don't want to have raw edges here. Another problem would be how we close it together, but that's a problem for 20 minutes later. But now it already like looks so cute, because if this is outside, the back of it, we will just sew now a tunnel, pull elastic through it around, attach elastic to each other like I showed you on top of each other, and then we'll need to find a way, maybe with a needle, to close this seam. But if we didn't do this fold over, these edges would have been raw and not pretty. Oh, I'm so excited now. Now we go to sit to our sewing machine like I did just now. We step 2 centimeters away and we draw a nice seam around. Let's do that. Our opening is, start from the top 2 centimeters. Again, we have our blue guide here. We just, of course, we always start the seam with back and forth to secure the seam. Maybe I should have folded it inside. Oh, stupid me. Now I think I should have taken this raw edge and folded inside and then sew on top. Oh, that would be so pretty. Should I undo it? Like, kind of fold it already here. Oh, damn it. Should I undo it? Maybe not, or maybe yes. How far along are we? Yes, let's undo it. It's okay. Happens sometimes. Basically, what I want to do now is to put this raw edge inside of my tunnel. Then we'll do two things at once. We will create a tunnel and we'll also hide the raw edge. Because my fabric is quite transparent. If yours is not, it doesn't matter, because here now you can see the edge of the fabric, which I don't like. So I decided I might as well just redo it. Let's add back the needles before opening the seam, so we don't need to do that again. Okay, so this is the situation. Now we will fold your raw edge inside to make sure it's enough for a seam to actually reach it. And then we will keep sewing. So I think about that. Now let's see. Now this is how it looks. So we put the edge inside, we kind of hide it. This is from the inside of our top, and this is outside of our top. Of course, I need to clean all of those threads. Now we need to take elastic and push it through there. So here's now a few things. Since we have it so pretty right now, there is two ways. You can either put elastic and then we need to find a way how to close this. I was thinking with the actual needle and thread to sew this together with a hidden stitch, or you can just take string, for example like this one, but of course it should be much wider. String, lace, pull it through and tie it up. If you don't have elastic, you don't even need elastic. You will just pull it through and tie it on the back by taking your, what is it called, lace, putting it inside all the way around, and then tying it on the back, and your top is ready. But let's do it with elastic. The best way to do it is to take a big pin, where is our entrance? Here. That's what I was scared, that the Start will be a bit difficult, same as like in the end. I think it will be a bit tricky to get it out, but it's okay. And you pull it through. When you pull it through, you will reach this point when this ends, basically. So remember to secure that one. Other way you will just lose it. And you will need to start again. So it's very important, and keep some tail. Okay, like so. So this one is secure, and now I also like to put a tape around the pin, which I didn't do now, and now the needle that is inside the pin kind of stops me from moving faster. Now you create your ruche. I don't even know if it's called ruche. Now we need to put it on top of each other, add few seams here, and then kind of hide it into each other and decide what we do next. And this is how it looks. What you can is even pull a bit here and try to hide all of this into the other part. You can squeeze it a bit to make it easier, and then pull it inside there. Then distribute the extra on top of it. See, now it looks like this. You almost can't see it. Pretty, it's covered, like no one can see it, right? But probably when you will be wearing it, like this will happen. So we need to add a seam on top. Wait, I need to cover this again. I kind of was thinking to do it just with a thread and a needle without a sewing machine to make the hidden seam, but I'm too lazy now for that. So I think we might as well just add the sewing machine seam. We can try to put beginner like one tunnel inside of another. Of course, it's the same width, so it's a bit difficult to do it, but even if you can do it a bit, you can already add a seam, little seam on top of that, and that's it. So here you have your opening, and we put one tunnel on top of each other, and we will add a tiny seam here. Absolutely not my best work, but if you want a better work, use needle, hand, and do a hidden seam. This is our top now. I'm so upset that my camera died, so sorry if that phone quality was now horrible, but this is how this looks inside, since we hid the raw edge inside of the tunnel. Then, as I said, we put one tunnel end on top of each other and added a tiny seam on top. Now, basically, our top is ready. It also looks like a skirt. We just need to finish these edges. We can use iron measurement tape and make sure that all around is like 1 centimeter. We iron it, we fold it 2 times, and then we'll put a nice seam on top. Who has time for this? Not me. I'm too impatient. So now I will just fold it like maybe 5 millimeters, then 5 millimeters again. Wait, fold 5 millimeters, and then I will fold 5 millimeters again and put a seam on top. And just as I will be sewing, but of course I will be sewing not from the inside, I will be sewing from the face side of the top, and as I go I will be folding. Is it the best way to do it? Absolutely not, but I think I have already quite an eye, so it will be 5 millimeter, 5 millimeter. Basically we'll ended up going 1 centimeter again away from the edge and sewing as I go around it, and then we finished. I changed my post-it note to 1 centimeter instead of 2, because as I said, that's exactly how much we will be stepping aside. And then as I go, Now I fold it and I'm showing you. This will take some time. Maybe it will be faster to iron it, but as you can see here, I folded it, I hold it, I held it, I hold it, and then let's go around and finish this project finally. That's how it looks from inside, and that's how it looks from the outside. It's actually much easier than I thought. That's how the seam looks from the outside, and that's how it looks from the inside. Actually, it took me so much faster than I thought. Just make sure that you actually fold it inside so it doesn't start to shred from here. And yeah, that's how it looks. Let's now, what is it called? Steam it. This is my handy steamer, and then try it on. And after that, I can try to do it already with a more interesting fabric. Just a reminder, we just used this fabric that is very simple, but in the future I want to try to do it with the silky fabric, the black fabric, because the fabric makes a big difference. So the same cut top can look completely different in different fabrics, but I just wanted, you know, to start with something simple. And I actually love how it looks. My boyfriend lovingly said that, how did you say it looks? Curtain. Like a curtain. He's just a boy, he doesn't understand anything, so. Also he called it a tea bag. I don't know. But where will we be if we listen to a man, am I right? I feel like this is cotton, this is light, you can tie it up. Oh, that's also nice. You can just put it inside your pocket, and I feel like this is a very good basic top that is good to have in your closet. And I'm 100% sure you can wear it as a skirt, but the long skirts are not for me. Oh, and I don't remember if I showed you. I also added the zigzag stitch to cover up the edges of the top. I don't think I've filmed that. This in a silky fabric. Oh, the only problem with the silky fabric, unless you can buy and afford 100% silk, is silky fabric is usually polyester, unless it's silk, and it will be quite hot in summer. But this will be so breezy, and this was like boxer shorts. In black, this will be so beautiful. And maybe even if we make it like shorter, and then in a black fabric. Oh, this top would look so cute if it's ruche here and then tied here. That's why I love to do like something basic like that and then play around with it. For example, you can add a string or a strap here, and then tie it in the back. If you add it somewhere here, for example, and then you tied it in the back. Wait, that actually will be very cute. All you need is to take a strap, and I have a lot of those, or a yarn, seam it here a few times, and then tie it in the back. Oh, okay. Wait, that's cute. Actually, we're not done yet, because I was just playing around for like 30 minutes with how to make it more interesting, about to ruin the top, but I wouldn't be able to sleep if I don't try it out. So I will take smaller elastic. This one is, I think, like half centimeter. What we do, how the elastic works and why I want to use it is we will put the zigzag on the widest setting. And how elastic works, example, we attach, of course, from the inside out, elastic here, come closer. We attach here. We have much longer fabric that we have the length of the elastic. For example, let's say here, right? You see that the elastic, so you can see that the elastic is shorter than the width of the fabric. So what happens is you start sewing, you put the setting on a widest zigzag, and when you do the zigzag seam, you stretch it out. So you sew like this. Wait, can you see now? Like that. You stretch it out and you start sewing. You sew your zigzag. It's like super wide. It goes like that. And it's important that you keep holding it. And once you release it, all the fabric will kind of, how to say, shrunk together following your elastic. Kind of similar this way. So what I'm thinking to do is to take few short pieces of elastic, attach it, for example, this way, right? It should be enough for elastic to stretch out because it can only stretch out as much. So, for example, I will add it somewhere here. Then I will take another piece of elastic, attach it somewhere here, so all around the top, and then I will add the zigzag stitch, and it will all kind of ended up being like that. You know what I mean? So I ended up using just 2 pieces of elastic. Let's see how it will look. One is the bigger and one is the shorter. The most important, when you attach them like that, make sure that your elastic is not too short. You're doing that just by stretching it out. I think this is a bit too short. Let's do it maybe from somewhere here. Let's check again. Like, it shouldn't be super difficult. This feels better, maybe even a bit. Oh, this is perfect. You see, it covers all of the fabric and then it will go like this. Now, as I think about it, I don't think it will work because it will... Yeah, I think we will need to add something on the back as well, otherwise everything will be in front. Yes, we will need elastic on the back as well. Let's try first this 2, and then if needed I will add elastic in the back. Because the width of your seam, so how wide is your zigzag, shouldn't be bigger than your elastic. It should be inside elastic. So for me it's the 4th. Length should be the biggest one, because the longer is zigzag, the better it will crunch up in the end. So what we do, stretch it out. Yes, and it looks horrible. Okay. So it doesn't look like I wanted it to look at all. That's okay. That's part of the going with it, right? As I thought, of course, it needs something on the back. So what I will do now, since I can undo it, but I want to continue. I will add few more elastics, kind of maybe even as a snake around, then I will show it to you, then I will sew, and then I think it will look like I want it to look. Again, I did it so that it started higher and ended lower, because I don't want to have straight lines. I want it to have all weird ways, so to say. It didn't look how I wanted it to look, so I also haven't eaten anything since breakfast, so I'm getting hungry. But it needs much more elastic, so this I will add in the end, in the back. It's basically not tight enough, but since we have so much fabric, elastic only can shrink so that that much fabric, so I feel like we need to add a lot of elastic. For example, if we start here, we go here. Oh, that's actually a good idea to try vertical shrink. A bit. Good to know how to work with elastic, because you can add it now to your button downs, to your shirts, oversized shirts, the ones that you are not wearing anymore and you want to spice it up. This is the easiest way to upcycle. Up again. That's how it looks inside out. We added elastic, by we I mean absolutely everywhere, until I reached the squeeze I wanted. It did take me a lot of elastic and a lot of zigzag stitches. Also much longer time it took to put all of this together, because it took me time to realize you shouldn't go with one elastic around, but instead take few short ones and just attach it different ways. This way you will faster get the snatched look, because I kept doing it and it still was too big, but what do we think? What I love about this top is that you don't need any way to be precise, and you don't need to measure all the time. You just attach it everywhere, maybe under boobs, on top of the boobs, depends which silhouette you want to create, and then it's done. Let me try to see if I can wear it as a skirt. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. I know I ended up with the top not the one I was planning in the beginning, but that's, I feel like, the beauty of making your own clothes. You don't know where you're gonna end up, so let me know what you think and if I should make more video like that. But next time I will actually plan it through better. This was my first tryout, so please don't judge me.